Right, Rich, here we are in Dubai, Jumeirah Golf Estates, and what a place to spend your off-season.
Yeah, absolutely. Very lucky that a lot of the golf clubs in Dubai are very welcoming. I mean, weather's been amazing. I haven't took my shorts off since I've been here. So yeah, like I say, it's been a great place to work on my game. And obviously we play a few of our big events on tour out here. I've been to play Yas, I've been to play Emirates kind of before coming back there in a couple of weeks. It's just, if I can get one up, that's just a good thing. Obviously I'm new out on tour, so I haven't really seen them golf courses in tournaments before. So I'm just trying to prepare and just trying to give myself the best chance of getting off to a good start next season. But obviously the courses that you've got, which are all within 45 minutes of each other, are all championship level courses, and they're also setups as well, which is what you're going to get week in, week out on tour. So I'm just trying to give myself the best opportunity, and yeah, it seems to be working. I'm really excited for next season.
How mad has the last 3 years been, that kind of roller coaster journey?
Obviously 2020 was my first proper year on Challenge Tour. Then COVID happened, and it was kind of like, didn't really know what could happen, what was going to happen. I ended up getting one of the 5 cards that was on offer. Then 2021, played on tour, but played on limited starts. And played quite well, but just didn't do enough to kind of keep my card because I wasn't getting in the big events and so on. So there was a really big decision to be made at the start of this season, and I was very close to just committing to the Challenge Tour because I wasn't sure what events I was going to get in. Obviously not playing the big events and so on. And it would have been similar to last year. But then I decided to back myself off the lessons I'd learned last year, and it ended up to be a great decision. I kind of really believed that I could go and do something, and I believed I could win this year, and I didn't, but I did have a few chances too, and like I say, now it ended to be really the right decision to back myself, and kind of was really proud to make it to the DP World Tour Championship from not having my card at the start of the year. So yeah, it's funny because my first Rolex Series event I've ever played was the DP World Tour Championship. So yeah, like I say, next year's now my first year since turning pro. I can properly plan my schedule and sit down with my team and actually try and peak for some weeks that we think could suit me. So I'm really excited.
Talk us through some of those kind of highlights and I guess momentum changing weeks that you've had this year.
Yeah, it was at the start. Me and my caddy, who I used to work with back on Challenge Tour, and he kind of came back to me at the British Masters, and I got an invite because I was local at the Belfry, and our first week back, and it was also the start of the US Open qualifying series. So there was 4 events, which was the British Masters, the Soudal Open, the Dutch Open, and then the Porsche European Open. First week back, and we finished 8th, which was a good week, a decent sized event. I went and played in Belgium and finished about 20th, but played quite well, kind of let a couple of shots slip at the end of the final round. Went to the Dutch Open where I played well last year and finished 9th, so another top 10. And then I went to the Porsche European Open knowing that if I had a good week, I was going to get a US Open spot, and finish 3rd. Ended up qualifying for the US Open, and which was my second major at the time, and just learned so much from that. And I kind of learned that it was like when I wanted to do something and really put my mind to it, I could achieve things like that. So it kind of, at that point, I'd earned quite a few points on the race to Dubai, but I still needed to finish the year strong because there was going to be a lot of big events coming up that I wasn't going to get in. So then obviously qualified for the Open, which was amazing. So that was my second consecutive Open. To play the 150th at St Andrews was best golfing memories I've ever had. Just to walk down that 18th fairway kind of at that venue was a dream come true. And then yeah, went to Crans, Montana, which was my first time there. Most people say you go there for the first time, most people don't do well because of the altitude and just how different it is. It was probably the most consistent I've played all year. I possibly didn't have a chance to win just because I was always a couple behind, but I played really solid for 4 days and finished 3rd alone there, and I think that probably secured that I'd got my card. And then had a couple of odd weeks in Italy and France where I ended up losing my clubs and had to play with different clubs and stuff. And then I actually took a flight from France back to Italy, to Rome Airport, to try and find my clubs because I saw them on my AirTag. And it was the best thing we ever did. I was absolutely shattered, but got them back in time for the Dunhill. And like I say, that was a really positive week overall. There was a lot of lessons learned from that Sunday. 4-shot lead going into the last round. To win my first time in an event like that was it was a new position for me. Like I say, I've had chances to wins, but I've never been leading, and I've never been, like you say, in an event of that stature. So yeah, I was disappointed. I was gutted for a few weeks. Still haven't won, but I feel like I've got a lot of good lessons in the bank from this year, and I'm really excited where my game's at. I've stayed out to kind of put the work in. I'm still having an off season and resting, but I'm doing the right things. My coach is out here as well, and like I say, next year I've played a lot of the courses now. I know where I like to play. I know where I don't, and yeah, I'm really excited to get going.
And off the back of that, how excited to start the season and get started back here again in the Middle East?
I made the decision not to go down to Africa or Australia just because I ended up playing 8 weeks in a row in the summer, just because I didn't know what I was going to get in. I felt like I had to keep playing and riding the wave, and my play at the end of the year probably showed that I was pretty drained. I didn't finish the season where I wanted to, so it was kind of like I can really put the work in now, and I know I can get off to a really good start, and I know what I can achieve in this game. I've obviously still got to go and do that, but if I put the work in, there's no reason why I can't get off to a really good start in them 2 events. And obviously, if you do, it can set you up really well for the season. So, yeah, two courses that I really like. I love being out in the Middle East. Weather's amazing. Everything's there for you to go and succeed if you want to put the work in. So, yeah, I'm excited.
So what are your goals for 2023?
I have got some goals that are kind of to do with outcome-based goals, I guess. Obviously, to win, I haven't won yet. One of my goals is to also make the Ryder Cup team. I really feel like I'm good enough to be on that team. I know I've got to go and perform now to make that team, but I've spoke with Luke a few times. It is a big goal and it is a big ask, but there's going to be some rookies on that team, and I know that I'm good enough to be on it, so that's also one of them. But one of my biggest goals is to kind of really, it sounds weird, but I got frustrated a lot on the golf course this year because I felt like I let a lot of opportunities slip. My fiance travels with me now, and she often follows me and walks around, and just the feedback I've had all year off people watching has been, you can really tell when I'm playing well, but then when it slips, how my demeanour goes down and so on. And that's something I'm really working hard at. And I think if I can kind of really get better and much more level-headed, which is what I used to be on the Challenge Tour, and I think it's just because I want it so badly, and I really kind of let it get to me now because it feels so close to achieving some great things. That's possibly why it's happened. So that's something that I'm really working towards, and my goal is to kind of, for her to say, and for my closest to kind of say, you can really see that you've got better in that department, and I know that if I do, the results will take care of themselves. So yeah, top 100 in the world, and I also want to get one of the 10 PGA Tour cards. My game is very much suited to America. Played college golf out there and did really well, and I want to play on both tours. I want to play a global schedule. And I want to be playing with the best players in the world. I'm not there yet, but I really think I can get there. So now they've introduced them cards, that's definitely right up there at the top of the list, really.
Global golf's in a bit of a strange old place at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's sad. I see why some people have chose to make the decision to change where they play. I don't see why others have, but I think it's just, it'd be nice to kind of have events where people go back to focusing on the golf and not the stuff that's going at the circus outside. I don't really like to get involved in it myself. I really think there needs to be events and majors where the best players in the world are playing in them, and like they say, the best players are winning them. So it's an interesting time. Obviously, there's crazy amounts of money going about, and which is great. I'm not complaining at all. But I just would like to see a little bit more togetherness, and hopefully, like you say, the governing bodies and so on can kind of come to some sorts of agreement where there's not the bitterness, there's not the stuff all on social media, and just because it does get a little bit tiring. And like you say, we've got a job to do, and it's easy to get distracted and just, like you say, you walk into players' lounges and it's all people are talking about. So, yeah, it's an interesting time, but I'm sure over time it'll get better.